think of what we could have done. We could have saved the kids.
Do you hear that shit? Oh my God, it sounds so ridiculous.
Well, maybe you should leave that to law enforcement, or you should become a law enforcement officer.
It's so funny to me that people like Jason Boss, Titus, and Mikey, and Nathan and them think that they are qualified somehow to help kids. We already know that Mikey's not qualified. He couldn't even reach out to law enforcement when those kids were being tortured, according to his own story, but I don't believe his story anyway. But if we did believe his story, he couldn't even get the kids help when he was literally faced with the situation in front of him. Couldn't even get in the car, leave, dial 911, get some cops over there right now, SWAT team in there right now. There's a whole group of kids, they need your help right now. Goes to a party the next weekend, same thing happens. He doesn't even care. He did it 3 more times. Well, he did it 3 times total. 3 parties, groups of kids, according to his story. That's why I don't believe Mikey. Because I don't want to believe Mikey's that evil. Is he evil enough to lie on the internet to get some money? Oh, hell yeah. Do you think he's evil enough to watch a group of kids go into... No, I don't think he's that fucking evil. I'd hate to say it, but even the most evil person will not let that shit happen to a kid. You get me? They really won't. They don't give a fuck. There's like a primal thing that will get triggered in people when they're near children who are in desperate need of help because of things like that. Now, I know some people don't, but I'm just saying for the most part. It's the most incredible story. This could literally be a horror movie. It could be a fucking novel. It could be a drama movie. You get me? This thing, like the claims, and then the people standing up to fucking debunk it or to apply logic to it. Then the response from people trying to knock down the people who are debunking it. Because when you are lying, people like me and Johnny spitting logic about this shit, we are the most damaging thing that could be out there. Every time we do a show where we spit logic around this, it takes the percentage of money that they're going to make from their little scam, goes down and down and down. Every single YouTuber that speaks out, every person that stands up and says this doesn't make sense and it's bullshit, it takes the percentage down for how much money they're going to make.
If you are that impassioned and not using kids in order to enrich yourself...
We can't save anything now. We have the whistleblower that we had is now dead.
No proof of that whatsoever.
And as ineffective as he was still trying for the kids.
Isaac Cappy was a selfish narcissist who only cared.
And he realized this. He realized this at the end. I think that's why he's not with us. You want to ask me my most logical assumption? The reason that he's not with us anymore is because he couldn't take the pain from running this bullshit that Jason Boss is still continuing.
About himself, as evidenced by his suicide, because suicide is a selfish act. Only people who care about themselves are willing to do such a thing, if in fact that's what happened. I am still on the fence about that.
I don't blame Johnny for being on the fence. I don't mind when people tell you that their opinion is something. I mind when people try to attach some kind of damn agenda to the opinion and then have the most crazy opinion where they're not considering anything logical or have a reason for believing what they believe. That's when I care. When I'm stumbling upon the internet and I find videos giving their opinion on it, I'm happy. I like hearing it. When I stumble somebody spitting some crazy ass agenda, that's when it bothers me.
So, all you guys that are Isaac Cappy haters, I hope you're happy.
We're not happy. See, here's the deal. We weren't happy when this started. Okay? We were the only ones who would stand up. Because guess what, boss? We didn't make money doing this story. I don't know if you think. Do you realize? I don't know how many times I got to prove it to the world. But when I do my main channel's content, I make money. When I make content on my main channel that my audience wants to see, I make money. I get good fucking views, and I make good fucking money over here. 415,000 monetized views, 10,000, 5,000, 4,000. Where's the other big one at? It better still be there. 87,000 monetized views. When I make content on my channels that don't have to do with this bullshit, I make money. Oh, you don't believe me? That happened a long time ago. Well, in the last 3 weeks, I've got almost 1 million views on a new channel I just made where I do similar editing style and similar writing as my main channel, but for technology, TV shows, movies, and reviews. And I've gotten 50,000, 60,000, 4,000, 309,000 in a week, okay? 8,000, and the list goes on and on. I do not make money on Unirock 2 like I make money on anything else I do, Okay, and I don't know how many times I got to prove this to the world. I don't know how many times I got to, not to, of course, to my following, but I don't know how many times I got to show this to people like Jason Boss. I don't know why you guys, not you, I don't know why they think that I would make some incredible amount of money doing like, my nightly broadcast and including the Cappy stuff. It doesn't get some extreme amount of views. I had 300 views, 400, 500, 600 views doing my normal content a couple months ago on Unirock 2. When I start talking about all this bullshit, that's when my views go down, right? I don't do this content for views or for money. I do my other content for views and money. Not only, I do it because I love doing it too, by the way. It's fun. It's what I like doing. Reading those comments, I don't have any of the bullshit that I'd find in the comments of a video like my live stream today or yesterday. Okay? When I go and look at the comments on my like my Game of Thrones season 8 episode 4 review, it was nothing but people like giving me advice on what they thought about the video, responding to how well they liked the video. Somebody even told me, I would have rather watched your video than the actual episode. You did such a good job with this. Beautiful. And I was like, damn. And it feels good. You know, I get in those comments. I'm happy. I'm responding. I'm conversating with my new subscribers. It's fucking the reason YouTube was here. Okay. Could you imagine what I got to deal with if I go to the Isaac Cappy comments? Just a bunch of bitching from people. It's either people bitching or people acting like they know what happened, but not saying a single reason for why they know what happened. Running agendas in the comments. Now, there is a lot of my following in the comments being cool as hell and giving their opinion, and I love it, but I'm not talking about that right now. And I do appreciate you very much. What I'm trying to state is, Boss wants to act like me and Johnny Supertramp are some like making some kind of giant ass money by representing, logic and constitutional rights when we respond to people like Cappy, Mikey in these situations. And I don't know why. It makes us sound stuffy, for one. It makes us sound overly fucking like bitchy, kind of, right? When I'm sitting here criticizing the whole Cappy situation and all this, it's just not the greatest content in the world, but it is an opinion that needs to be put out there. There has to be some kind of content that is a logical pushback to the shit that Boss and Nathan and Cappy and all them were saying, because that shit is it's making our internet deranged. It's making YouTube deranged as fuck. You ever had one of the people that go around in the mindset? They go around watching a lot of Cappy and all that stuff. They get in this mindset, and every comment section they get into, they're just really nasty and disgusting. They say some of the sickest stuff in your comments. I'm not kidding. Go fucking check them. Go back and read go back to like 8 months ago and read some of my comments. And remember this, the worst comments are filtered. You know what? I got to show you guys this. I fucking wish Jason Boss was watching this right now. I'm about to show you something. I'm going to have to log into my old studio to see it because I don't know how to do it on the new studio. So if I go to my community tab and I go to comments, this is not even in the last while. I've got 2,000 comments held for review and almost 500 comments that are spam. Okay? Because YouTube has an auto filter. Now those comments that are held for review include vulgar language, insults, death threats, nasty language, stuff like that. You get me? 2,000. And I check it pretty regularly, honestly. Sometimes I forget, but I'm just saying. I try to.
I hope this is what you were after. Not only are the kids never going to be saved, well...
And see, this is how you know that this is just a big lie. And I can't wait to hear what Johnny has to say because it sounds so ridiculous. Now the kids aren't going to be saved because you guys exercised your freedom of speech right to stand up and constructively criticize what the hell they were saying and logically break it down. That is ridiculous. By the way, Cappy had time to take a vacation to fucking Australia and had time to take a goddamn vacation and then go run around everywhere. And I don't care if he did. I'm just saying there was no progress being made for the last 6 months around this story when it comes to there was no this whole story has never helped a single child. It's never helped a single one. Not at all. I don't know where this is coming from. I wish these guys would be required by their audience to elaborate. I wish the people that watch him, that go back and watch his uploads, would say, you need to explain point this point, and that point, because I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. I wish they would, because he does need to explain himself.
Assuming this isn't a hoax, which I don't think it is, because Isaac had lived up his usefulness, and
And right, what do you mean? Look at that. You see, is this not? Remember those clues I told you about? That's one of the major clues. Lived up his usefulness. What? How? What? Yeah, maybe to you, boss. Yeah, because he's not viral anymore. So when you talk about him like you used to, you don't automatically get thousands of views. When I talk about him, I don't automatically get thousands of views. That is the equation for usefulness when it comes to these people.
He was coming out of the closet.
Isaac came out of the closet years ago, and if he was going to commit suicide, he would have used about 20 dicks shoved into his mouth to stop him from breathing. This guy,
that was a joke, obviously.
Should really stop smoking crack. You know, law enforcement actually does a pretty good job about saving kids when there's actual real kids and not.
And you got to imagine, too, can you believe, makes Cappy sound like a Kleenex, can you believe that people who normally give funding to real organizations that provide help for people in trouble cancel donations, stop giving donations to established real organizations that help kids and people in trouble because they watched some of these guys on YouTube and decided to instead give that money to them? Where do you think where do you think my donos come from? My donos come from a bunch of people that like watching live streams. So they come to my live streams, they come to my show, and my donos come from people that go to Patreon or join my channel because they want to fund me to keep making videos. There you go. Where do you think the donos come from to, I don't know, Titus? I'd say a smaller portion of his donos come from people who, for like a live streaming, like the pool of money that they pull their dono from probably come from a place where they would normally donate to other live streamers. There's a portion that would go to Titus like that, but it'd probably be much less than mine because I'm very strict when I talk about donations. Your donation is only going to help the show. Get me? Where do you think the other part of donations come from to people's channels like Titus and those guys? They come from people who would normally be giving that money to organizations that they think will help kids that are in trouble. And because Titus and them say they help kids that are in trouble, they instead give donos to that group. It's preventing people that are really helping kids from having the funding that they need. A lot of funding. Remember, Vegan Mikey said 30,000. That's what those guys said back then, not us. So here's my point. Where would all that, let's just say Mikey never popped up. You think the people would have kept their money? Maybe gave it to other YouTubers or something? I'd say a good percentage would have went to organizations that help kids and suicide hotlines and stuff like that. You get me?